Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of the Property Investing Podcast, brought to you by Real Estate Investor. So this is our last episode for the year. I'm Dennis Wong, and given the time of the year, I thought it'd be a great opportunity in this episode to talk about a few things that you should review to ensure your property portfolio is still on track. You know, let's face it, during the year, it's always busy and there are lots of distractions. So why not take the holiday period to review your portfolio before things kick back off again in January? And finally, I'll wrap up with some information on the new smoke alarm legislation that came into effect in Queensland this year. So, let's get straight into it. So, with the Christmas break now around the corner, some of you may already be on holidays as well. I thought I'd share with you what I like to do around this time of year to ensure I haven't missed anything with my portfolio that may cost me later on. And so it's not a mad rush as well when it comes to the end of the financial year when getting all my paperwork together for my accountant. Now, the first thing I'll do is to ensure all my files are backed up and up to date. You know, if you're only keeping all your rental statements, receipts, and invoices electronically, then it's important that you have a backup or even backups. You know, use an external drive or a couple of them and take advantage of cloud-based services such as Dropbox or Google Drive as well. Even Xero, accounting system, great system to also capture all your electronic documents. These options are great because if your computer or drives actually die, it can be impossible to retrieve any of that data. So with these services, your data can actually be accessed anywhere as long as you have an internet connection and you remember your password. Now, if you're still keeping hard copies of everything, it may be worthwhile scanning everything as well. So you have electronic copies. You know, it can be time consuming, but it'll definitely be faster than doing 1 year's worth of scanning at tax time compared to only 6 months worth in December. Now, what I also recommend you do is review your current properties. You know, how has the value of each one been tracking year to date? Has it grown in line with what you forecasted it would? Or is it a property that, you know, you've been holding on to for the past 5 years where you'd be hoping it would finally increase? So, you know, these types of properties are ones where you may need to just cut your losses and sell if there's been no growth over 5-7 years. So then you can use that money to acquire a more profitable property. And that's why, you know, taking the time to review your portfolio can be valuable. Also look at the rents being charged. You know, is it in line with the market rent for the area? You know, is your property manager actually doing their job? You know, are they increasing rents when required? You know, even if it's just $5 a week, that adds up to $260 a year, which can help things, you know, cover things like landlord insurance or even, you know, maintenance issues. Now, check to see if your property manager has been doing the inspections as well. And, you know, how recently was the last one? This is important because you want to make sure your investment is being looked after by the tenant. And if not, they can be, you know, issued a notice to rectify any of these issues. And if it continues, it then gives you good, solid reasons to why you want to ask that tenant to leave before things get worse. Now, if there's been no inspections done and you've been paying all these fees to your agent, you know, you need to question them why you're paying them. You know, it might be a good opportunity to negotiate a better rate if they're not providing you with the service they initially promised, or switch agents. You know, I switched agents over a year ago now. I pay much less and they provide a better service. You know, with every inspection that they provide, they actually take photos of the property so I can actually see the condition of the property. Any maintenance issues can be addressed as well before they become expensive issues. You know, things like leaky taps need to be addressed sooner rather than later. Otherwise, over a long period of time, this can cause issues such as mold or even the flooring under the tiles being damaged if it's, you know, in the shower. So, you know, I also look at things like pest inspections, especially if I know there's been termites next door or in the past with my property. I want to make sure they haven't come back. So an annual check will give you peace of mind. You know, I also look at when was the last time the air conditioners have been serviced. You know, people tend to forget about the air conditioners, but if you keep up with the servicing, then it's more likely that these units will last much longer. It will also help when it comes time to sell because you can prove you've been looking after the units and there's no risk that you'll have a faulty unit and that you'll need to drop the sale price for the new buyer because they have to get a new unit or you have to then spend out money to get it fixed. Now, depending on the property you have, you may even want to organize a building inspection. Is there anything that has been changed with the structure? Has it moved? Especially if your property isn't built on a concrete slab. Now, if you choose not to do the annual inspections, then it's even more important that you have the appropriate insurances in place in case something does go wrong. Make sure your landlord and building insurances are all up to date, paid, and the right cover is actually in place. And if you have a property that is part of a strata, make sure the building insurance covers, include things such as damage from leaky taps, and with your landlord insurance, make sure it covers damages caused by the tenant. So look, that's just a few of the things I review at this time of the year, and I hope that helps you as well. Now, new smoke alarm legislation came in from 1 January this year, so I wanted to remind everyone that has a property in Queensland what they need to be aware of. Now, when you're replacing smoke alarms, whether it's for your own home or an investment property, they must be of a photoelectric type now. Any smoke alarms that were manufactured over 10 years ago needs to be replaced. Now, what you also need to ensure now is the following. That all smoke alarms, like I mentioned, need to be photoelectric. They need to be less than 10 years old. They need to now be interconnected with every other smoke alarm in the dwelling so that they're all active together. They must be installed in each bedroom on each story. So if you have 2 floors and there's a bedroom on the ground floor, the smoke alarm needs to be in that specific room on the ground floor, as well as each bedroom on the top floor. In hallways which connect the bedrooms and the rest of the dwelling, or if there's no hallway, then the alarms need to be between the bedrooms and other parts of the story. And if there are no bedrooms on a story, at least one smoke alarm must be installed in the most likely path of travel to exit that dwelling. So when you're selling a property, the seller must continue to lodge a form with the Queensland Land Registry Office as well to confirm the requirements of the smoke alarm legislation have been met. For new builds, it'll be part of the development approval process for new dwellings or even major renovations. The approvals will ensure that the dwellings are compliant with those new laws. So I thought I'd just provide you with a general overview. So if you'd like more information, I do encourage you to visit the Queensland Government Fire and Emergency Services website. So that's it for episode 14 and the last property investing podcast for 2017. I really do hope you've enjoyed listening to me over the past few months and also our special guests that we've had on from time to time. And again, if there's anything at all that we can do to assist, please don't hesitate to contact us. Now, we will be kicking 2018 off with a webinar on Wednesday, the 10th of January. The topic will be how to kickstart your property investing in 2018. So if you're new to investing, this is going to be a webinar that you don't want to miss. There'll also be a webinar on the 31st of January, which is also a Wednesday, on renovation and subdivision opportunities too. Now, to register, just jump on our website, realestateinvestor.com.au, and if you scroll right to the bottom of the page, you can click on webinars, and that will have all our webinars in there for you to register to. Now, we'll also be adding a new service to the premium membership in the new year to help those investors find investment grade properties faster. So please tune into our first webinar on the 10th to find out more. And we'll also be touring around again, and we'll have some exciting one-day live events with a lot of great content from all sorts of different people in the industry coming up. So stay tuned for more information on those events in the new year. So look, I hope you had a great year of investing. From everyone here at Real Estate Investor, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a very happy and safe New Year. And I look forward to seeing you in 2018.